everyone, and welcome to This Week at Shrouded, episode 73. We've got a full house for you today to talk about Bungie, the dumpster fire that is Bungie right now. We're going to get into it, but first I want to introduce Mr. Wrecked, Texan Hitman.
Hello. Hey, everyone.
sussBebo is back.
Hey, yo.
Along with TheAllGamer as well. Welcome.
Good. Hello, everybody.
Thanks everybody for being here. I know we've got a lot to talk about on the stream or on the podcast today. Obviously, a lot doing with the Bungie layoffs, Pete Parsons being a total asswipe. The Luke Smith and the project that he was working on and its implications of it not being what everybody thought it was and it being canceled and people moving to Sony, creating a new studio, 200 people getting fired. Anyway, there's a lot. We're going to get into it. It's going to be a big blast. Also, Game Informer shut down today. So we should talk about that a little bit because that was a huge industry magazine for the longest fucking time, and that sucks. So I have a feel
into gaming.
I actually feel like they're owned by Sony, and everybody was mad that at Bungie. So they're like, let's shut down Game Informer and make everyone forget about what happened to Bungie. I don't think that's true. I'm making that out. Don't listen to me. I don't know. I think Game Informer was owned by the same parent and company that owned IGN. That seems more likely. What do they call? Does anyone know the name of the?
Closed down by GameStop?
Yeah, never mind. So GameStop. It was Game Informer was closed down. So they were owned by GameStop. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
FuncoLand began publishing.
J2
GameStop
Global
took over in 2000. That's crazy. I used to subscribe to that magazine like a long time ago.
Yep.
Penthouse?
They just mute your mic. Anyway, we'll get into that a little bit later. But I did want to bring it up because it was big news in the gaming world. I know it has nothing to do with Destiny, but it is whatever. They did a lot to get a lot of people into gaming for a long time. So them shutting down is sad. Printed media is, it's kind of going out of style, and I'm sure they did other things to try to stay relevant, but I guess it just didn't keep going. Anyway,
you didn't do much as a magazine to keep things fresh.
Innovate.
I think you're pretty much set where you are.
I don't know. Porn on the internet's free, but Playboy still is going. So I've never understood how that magazine is still alive. Unbelievable to me.
Everyone's true. They do read it for the articles. There's probably some good stuff.
Yeah, I mean they have some
maybe that's true.
Research and
everyone's been sleeping on the news coverage that's in.
That's where all the rich people trade their secret messages.
Yeah, probably.
My new conspiracy theory.
All right, so we're getting a little off track. I want to start before we start talking about Bungie. We're going to announce the silver winners for this week, and we got a treat for you because it's the first podcast of the month. That means we have our monthly silver winner as well. So we are going to start with the two 2,300 silver winners this week, starting with Devilito 666. And the second winner is Johnny B. Tennessee. Congratulations on your 2,300 silver wins. Reach out to me in Discord to claim your prize. And our monthly winner this week, or this month, is Johnny B. Tennessee. Congratulations, Johnny. A twofer. It's probably rigged, but it's whatever.
Two stones, one bird, baby.
2 stones, 1 bird. Wait, you missed the first one? Idiot. Anyway. So congratulations. If you're watching this podcast and you're wondering or listening, you're wondering how you can win some silver, it's pretty simple. You should join our Discord to find out. shroudedgaming.com/Discord. Check us out. We're big Destiny/gaming community, and we give away lots of silver all the time, including on this podcast.
Spoilers, I'm in that Discord and don't know how to get the silver.
Well, that's because you never attend our weekly new member orientation stream, which teaches everybody what loyalty points are for and how to use them.
Man, who'd
when
want
is
to go to
that stream?
When is that stream?
It is every Tuesday at 1:00 East. Or it's Tuesday. Jesus, I fucked up already, everyone. It's every Sunday at 1:00 Eastern. 1:00 Eastern.
Cool beans. You said Sunday, 1:00 Eastern. That's what you said.
That's what I said. Sunday,
Okay.
1:00 Eastern. But if you just want to know how to do it, you're in our Twitch channel right now. All you have to do is type !loyalty. This really cool link will pop if you spell it right. Fuck. E-N. He did it. Okay. You click that link, and there's a store there that you can buy things with loyalty points. One being tickets to our silver giveaway.
Is this where I get your feet pics? Or...
No, that's his OnlyFans.
Yeah, exactly.
Allegedly.
That's the selling point for recruitment.
Yeah.
First one's free.
Rect is just ready to get going on this Bungie stuff. I can see it. He's just waiting. All right, let's get right into it. We've been messing around enough. Fun times. But if you didn't hear, Bungie laid off. I don't know if I forget the percentage now. Somebody's got the article up, but like 220 employees, and another 100 or so. Not exact
50.
numbers.
115.
115.
17% this go around, 25% total between October layoffs and this round.
Okay. So now 115 are going to Sony, are basically going to be employed by Sony now, and they're starting a new studio to do something. I don't fucking know what, but so that's cool. I'm interested in what those 115 people are going to go do, but and I'm happy they didn't lose their jobs. But still, this is a bit of a clusterfuck. 2 big layoffs within less than a year, and then on the tails of this, a lot of people are speaking up, talking about what's coming with Destiny, what these layoffs imply towards the future of the game. They're talking about Destiny 3. Leaks coming out talking about what people thought Destiny 3 was. Destiny 3, it's not Destiny 3. It's a different game that Luke Smith was working on. It's been canned. Bang, bang, bang. Everybody's focused purely on Destiny and Marathon. The 800 that are left over, mind you. And then there's leaks coming out saying that we're not getting full expansions anymore. We're getting smaller seasonal content drops, a bunch of weird things. So we're going to talk about it all. And it's all wonky. But I took a screenshot of something that I wanted to share with you all, which I thought was interesting. Which would also oh my god, why was it so high up?
You can do it, Greener. I believe in you.
Okay, so this would also be poor management, which is what everybody's blaming this on. Well, some people are trying to blame Sony, but I mean, if you just read between the lines, it's clearly Bungie's upper management just shit the bed. But this was interesting, I thought. So Bungie in 2020, 850 employees developing Destiny 2 and Marathon at early stages. Bungie in 2023, after the pandemic, 1,500 employees approximately developing Destiny 2, Marathon, and other incubation products. The pandemic bubble exploded, and they literally are now at 850 employees focusing only on Destiny 2 and Marathon. So when I'm looking at this, everybody said, to be fair, everybody's saying this is dooming Destiny and Bungie, these layoffs. But essentially they've just reset to pre-pandemic levels of service. I don't know if these numbers are 100% accurate. It's coming from Gamer Up Gaming. Who the fuck that is. But I did think it was interesting when I was looking over this, and I was like, well, Bungie wasn't doomed in 2020, so a lot of people are pushing this is doomsday narrative a little harder than it needs to be. But we're going to get into the other stuff, which does sound really shitty about Destiny. So maybe it is Doomsday. But based on the numbers, I was just like, well, okay, that's not as scary as I thought it was. But Rect is ready to explode, I think. So there we go.
Rect is not going to yell.
Okay.
I can see Bebo already ready to take his headphones out.
Yeah.
In any other company, including my own company, if you have to have size reduction, you have to have force reductions of this size twice within a 12-month period, that CEO, that CFO, they're out. Time to find the next one. I don't know why this fucking car-obsessed fucking moron is still running this company. They need to drop him immediately. I don't care what they do or who they put in. Move Bungie fully under fucking SIE. Fine. And put in some Sony placeholder to run the company. But get this Pete Parsons douchebag out of here. I mean, we didn't know it, but he's the next fucking raid boss because he's the one that's fucking everything up. It's his fault. Everything comes down to him and his decisions. I don't care what the rest of the people around him were telling him. He's been at the captain of this ship that has drugged this company down to where it's at right now. He's the one that made the decisions to spend all that capital and do all this divesting their resources into all these projects. The fault of where Bungie is at right now is squarely at his feet. He needs to take some fucking accountability and get the fuck out of here. I don't care that he's got millions of dollars probably wrapped up in salary, and that's what he's probably most interested in right now. He needs to take the ethical approach and step the fuck down and get the fuck out of here. We don't need him anymore.
How many classic
somebody
cars
else
is
back
that?
in charge. What's that?
How many classic cars will that cost?
The collection's currently valued at 2.5 million.
I don't give a shit what he does with his own money. He's a CC executive, right? He's got lots of money to play around with. I care about him being held accountable for the results of his company, like literally every other CEO in the country is, right?
Fair enough.
He's got to have some weird shit in his contract with Sony that's preventing him from getting booted. He's got to have something that is protecting him. Otherwise, he'd be gone now. I have to assume that.
So what would be protecting him essentially during a merger is that he's essentially going to stay in there to take all of the brunt for this until the merger's essentially done with and they've only moved down to just their Destiny 2 and Marathon products, and then he'll move out, and then whoever they bring in is going to be the person that's going to like save the company essentially like that. But they need one person during this time to just take all the heat, and since he did gamble by kind of like diversifying their assets a little too much, going like into the TV and film aspects of Destiny and everything else, and they kind of spread too thin, they want him to take the full brunt of this, and he's going to get paid out famously for it, but then he's going to leave, and then someone else is going to come in with some fresh ideas, and then everyone's going to be happy with that person. But they're not going to switch now so that people hate two different people.
So simplified, he's filling a scapegoat role right now until everything dies down.
Yeah, which is why he got paid an obscene amount of money for it, and he's just sitting there just being like, yep, we made a mistake. And you can see it in the post that he like put his name on. Most CEOs are not just going to put their name. It's like, hey, we had to make tough decisions, and it's like he put his name on that. It's like, okay, so, and he's nothing, and no investors are telling him to step down. Like, that's not anything coming from like their actual financials, because their financials are fine for the people that are staying, and none of them are telling him to step down, because again, everyone has to point their finger at him while Sony finishes their merger. And also, it's a merger. People are going to get laid off, and that is the plan, and there's definitely plan to do it some more, and they're going to replace those with Sony. But also the top talent coming out of Bungie, they're not just getting rid of them right off the bat. Sony's been hiring a lot of them in for undisclosed projects, like, and what have you, and they've kept a lot of key developers as well. Just my take.
He still sucks.
Than me. Smarter than me. I just play video games.
So
I'm not saying
No. Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely interesting. I don't understand the whole business.
Has Be Brave on his Twitter profile, and he disabled his profile immediately after dropping the announcement. What a fucking cowardly piece of shit! How do you look at yourself in the mirror, you stupid bald fuck?
Holding wads of cash. There's something that I thought was funny. I mean, this doesn't directly relate to Pete Parsons, but I did some math, and I'm legitimately curious because how many copies of Lightfall?
I think sold? I don't know the sales difference, but I think the Steam, what Steam was showing, they had like a couple thousand less people. It wasn't a massive difference between the Lightfall turnout and then the Final Shape turnout. At least
the thing is,
day one.
About those sales is that they're always going to be based on what the previous expansion did, right? And how content they are. So Lightfall had great sales because of Witchwing.
I'm trying to figure out how many people sold.
Final Shape would have had a lot more if Lightfall was at least a good expansion and didn't get all this shit.
There was a number calculation point to this. No, we're getting on to the wrong point. So what I wanted to say, from what I understood, I want to know how many it sold. Surely there's a number somewhere of how many copies Lightfall sold. What? Oh, ha. Okay, Leslie.
It doesn't. Lightfall or the Final Shape's performance almost certainly has nothing to do with what happened just now, regardless.
Stop assuming what I'm going to say. It has nothing to do with that.
Well, I was going to your point without the numbers. Bring your point up.
Well, they said so they said the Final Shape sold less than Lightfall, right? Okay, so I did some math. Thinking they have 1,500 employees. So I multiplied that by 80,000. I was being generous, probably. I don't know. You think that's the average salary?
Let's say that it is.
You got people making 200, 300, 400, 500,000. You got some people making 40, 50,000. It's probably at least 80, right?
Yeah, probably more the latter, but yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so that's $120 million a year in salaries. My point is, I don't know how they afforded to pay their people at all, because there's no way, even if the Final Shape sold 5 million copies, and they all sold the annual pass, which is $100. Hold on, just doing some quick math with my calculator, even though I only have to add 2 zeros.
Don't worry, Greener, you can do it. I have faith in you.
Well, it's, that's I guess that is 500 million if they sold that many copies. That's why I want to know how many copies they sold.
Yeah, but that's just on salaries and
exactly.
And employees.
That's just
didn't they move into like a new? I thought they had an entirely new facility.
So they had a new facility. They were trying to develop a new game.
The facility's leased. It's on like a 30-year lease, which I mean,
but you
gotta
buy equipment. You got to buy a lot of stuff for it. Like you got to furnish.
Plus, you got to also factor in
utilities.
The bajillion dollars they're probably getting from Eververse, because I know I have a couple people in my clan alone that every time the new shiny thing drops, they go buy it. So,
yeah, annual pass isn't their only income.
Mm-hmm.
But Destiny 2 is probably.
I just didn't when I did the numbers, it just didn't seem like it was enough money to justify having 1,500 employees. But maybe I was wrong. Maybe I'm not understanding the amount. My point was, I'm surprised they had that many people to begin with, and how they went 3 years with that many people.
Problem is they had too many people not working on the only project that is making them money.
Yeah, listen, we have no idea what their costs are, right? We don't know what their overhead is, so we can guess all we want, but we also don't know what their income stream actually looks like. It could be way higher than you think, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, but we got all these articles coming out now that are talking about Bungie lying to Sony about their financials before they were purchased, inflating it beyond all this reason, and then they're talking about Final Shape not selling as well as Lightfall. I don't even know how many copies Lightfall sold, but I know at one point Lightfall had like 2.5 million pre-orders before it was even released. So that's why I picked 5 or 6 million. I don't know. After the sales and everything, surely that's how much it sold, right?
It all comes back to that 45% missed revenue projection, because where are you missing your mark by that much? Like 45% is a lot.
It's got to be Eververse.
Where, like,
my guess
where did you get the projection? Projections are based on historical data.
My guess is they budgeted terribly.
We don't even know what all of Bungie's business actually is. A video game studio like this, their business is not entirely just the games that they've developed. They're also they're also lending resources to other companies and helping with development there. They're surely making money for doing that. They've got investments of their own. They're surely making money on that. There's a lot more than just the product they're selling us that's going into the money that they're making. So
they haven't made any acquisitions since 2022, though.
Oh, small political note. I guess Kamala Harris just got enough votes to be your Democratic nominee officially today.
God, please don't get me started on that.
All right.
I wanted to point that out.
Great.
Anyway.
Just
Canadians.
I was going to say it's just
this week at Shrouded and American
Kamala
politics by
Harris.
Canadians.
It's not. I'm not going into politics. I just said that you have an actual official nominee on one half of your political parties now. You didn't have one for the last 3 weeks, so now you got one. Calm down. Just because you don't like them or you don't want to talk about it, don't make any difference.
Greener, stop trying to make me drink more. Okay.
We want to talk about politics. We can talk about politics.
No, fuck politics.
I'm fully equipped to go straight into American politics if you like.
No. Let's get the other cards.
Why does the Canadian care? Because I care about the world politics, just like everybody in the world should.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're
on the
world stage.
Anyways,
every country is.
But in terms of their,
can we get back to saying how terrible Pete Parsons is?
I mean, there is a report that claims that Bungie did kind of skew their financials, which is also one of the reasons why they've had to drop about 35% of the workforce to kind of make the acquisition worth Sony's money.
Investment.
Well,
so that still comes down to bad management.
Well, what we also know about is that Sony has said that they would like to see more accountability and more people.
You're seeing that accountability right now, right? That's happening.
What, Pete Parsons?
No, Bungie in general.
Well, I mean, if we're
this correction in staff is accountability, and the fact that a bunch of executives got it this time as well, it's also accountability.
Yeah, they
news stories are saying that Luke and the other guy,
Noseworthy,
you know, they left ahead of time, and it's surely because they knew what was going on, right? They probably got the option being there so long. All right, so you're going to get fired. Let's go ahead and negotiate your exit package so you can just leave.
To be clear, what was reported was what's the name of the project they were working on again?
Payback.
So we don't take it all with a grain of salt. Payback got canceled.
Destiny Genshin
2 months ago.
Third person.
And they were working on that. Those two that you're just talking about, and they said when it was reported, they said with the restructuring happening, because they knew the restructuring was happening, you don't have anything to work on anymore. So effectively, your positions are being eliminated. So whether or not they actually quit ahead of time on their own volition, or were just told, we've got nothing for you anymore.
I mean, once
we do this restructure, then
this is how executives leave. They know what's up. They get their exit package negotiated, and they leave. That's it.
And they fuck all the small guys on the way out.
That's how it happens. My bigger issue with this whole situation is that even though it's almost 100% certain that the second round of layoffs was already in the works, because you don't arrange for 100 and over 100 people to transition from Bungie to Sony in 8 months since the last layoff. That it takes longer than that to get that kind of thing off the ground and rolling. They've known about this for a while. Leadership had to have known about this for a while. Their staff that were involved in this latest round of cuts were told there weren't any more cuts coming. What a fucking loser Pete Parsons and his HR team is. Good fucking Christ.
They're terrible. That's the biggest thing, right? Like, it's when you say shit like that, that's the biggest issue that we have with this. Mainly, it's just like, we thought everybody was good, and then you said everybody was good, and then lo and behold, you see this big transition, which you're right, Rec. This has been in the works for a while, even if not since October last year, at least the beginning of this fucking year, at least the last 8 months at minimum. For a transitionist gig, to start a new studio, to get a studio head in place, the talks that are happening, the projects that you're going to be working on. You don't just throw 100 people in another building and say, figure out what you're going to work on. Like, they already know. They know. They went through Bungie's team selecting the 100 people that they wanted. They didn't just pick 100 random developers. Like, this is they know. They've been going on. Those 100 people probably knew for a while too, to be honest. Like, how do maybe they did.
That is my question, because like I don't know jack about the corporate world. Like, are these dudes that these 100+ people that are just getting pulled to Sony? Is it like, hey bro, you're moving to California or Japan or wherever the hell, whatever office they want them to move to, or are they like staying in place and they just fall under a different umbrella now, like working in the Bungie building?
I mean, a lot of game development is done via remote work anyway, so these people might not even have to move. And I would wager that Sony is going to be a little bit more egalitarian than even Bungie was in being able to let these people work remote. These are developers; they're professional developers. They've got their rigs at home to do the kind of work they need to do. It's not something where you have to be in an office for sure.
I'm not 100% sure either. I don't imagine, even if they are in a space, that they're going to be in the Bungie building. That would be weird. But I have no idea if
part of it.
I was gonna say, I know it's a rabbit hole question, but I honestly didn't know, so I figured I'd ask.
I don't know.
I wonder if having to go back to that office every day and potentially running into Pete as you're going into your little side. Oh my lord!
Just walk in and be like, "Hey, fuck you, guy," and then just go grab your coffee and walk on.
And I have no idea if Sony has any office buildings in Seattle, so no idea on that.
They have the Bungie building. They own them.
Well, I guess yes.
That's why I asked about the same building thing.
Yeah,
because I was like, they own Bungie, so.
So, the 100 people, the previous 100, the other 150 that are moving, all of this acquisitions, like you guys saying, like they probably knew like a year ago. This was dealt with back in 2021, back when they were formulating the actual acquisition for 3.6 billion. You're not making a deal that big without the next 10 years of that company being discussed. Including who's moving, when they're moving, and when we have to pull plug on a lot of things. So I think Pete trying to like diversify where everything was going was essentially grasping at straws, being like, maybe we can. I'm doing devil's advocate, Rect. I know you can. If you have an angrier face, you can put it on there. He could have been grasping at straws, saying that like we're going to be getting rid of these people in the next 2-3 years, unless something really takes off again. Which is why they were just like, okay, let's try the payback thing. Let's try the video, like the film and video stuff that they were working on originally, and then had to scrap as well. So I think he was grasping at straws, trying to actually debatably save some of the jobs, knowing full well 3-4 years ago that these guys are going to be gone because Sony doesn't need them, or Sony's just like, well, we're only buying you for two things. We're buying you for Destiny, and we're buying you for Marathon. That's it.
That's not the only thing they bought them for. They also bought them for their experience with live service games. Don't forget that Bungie's the reason that for instance the Ellie.
That game, the Last of Us multiplayer factions.
They're the reason that the Last of Us.
Let's be clear, because
shut down, right?
People were losing their mind over this the other day. They're just like, "Oh yeah, this is the reason that we lost a faction. This company that can't hold together anything or nothing or no one."
No, the game was probably shit, right?
Yeah, somebody spoke on that from Naughty Dog and was like, to be clear, they came in and they gave us some recommendations and perspective that we very much appreciated, and based on that information, we decided to discontinue the project.
They came in, looked at it, and they said, "Your game is shit. This isn't going to make any money." Right? And then they walked out. That's what their job was there to do. That's what Sony wants them for.
Mm-hmm. Or
does that speak
hold
well
the
of
IP
Marathon, then?
and they get rid of the people, and then they build it themselves later?
Sorry.
Well, Marathon is...
Sorry, Tex.
No. Marathon's a completely different project, right? But I've seen it brought up every time I hear it brought up in an argument or a conversation that it's trying to break into the same market as like Call of Duty and Apex and Tarkov and everything. Like it's an extraction shooter. Like there's differences to it, but it's still trying to break into a very like niche market where people are already really committed to other games. So like every time I hear about it, to me it sounds like they're over investing on a gamble of something that is already oversaturated.
I don't know about that.
I don't think
Bungie makes bangers.
We're all talking about it. I don't think extraction shooters is an oversaturated market.
No.
Anybody like you'd mentioned Call of Duty and Apex, which are battle royales, which are Call of Duty is a multiplayer team deathmatch and a battle royale. There's two different versions of that.
It did
game.
have a form of extraction.
I know they're not the same.
It does have an extraction shooter. DMZ is an extraction shooter.
Oh, but that was in the last one. That's not in the current one. No one cares about DMZ. Have you heard anybody talk about DMZ in the last 8 months?
People only talk about Warzone.
But that's my point. Is what you're making is the last one that I could think of off the top of the dome, like a big. And granted, it's a different game versus them spinning off R6, but R6 did like a, alien infestation hive
extraction
shooter.
Yeah, that game sucked.
And no one fucking plays it.
This is what Bungie does. They create something that's never been done before, and it just happens to be the greatest.
We do got to give them some credit. You're right. I think that's what you're coming across with because Halo, they created that universe, they created that game. It was incredible. And when Destiny first came out, a banger. Even the first one, banger.
If they didn't
expansion,
if they didn't feel like Marathon was going to be a banger, they wouldn't have been investing this much time and effort into not canceling it. Like they're going to make this as best as they possibly can.
I want to put some perspective around Marathon. All right, listen.
Yeah.
If you're a Destiny gamer and you follow Destiny stuff on social media, all the people you hear talking shit about Marathon are Destiny people. They're not extraction shooter people. They have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. They will say that people have seen the game and they didn't like it, but a lot of the people that have reportedly seen the game are also Destiny people. They're not extraction shooter people, right? There has never been an extraction shooter.
They were all like,
there's never been an extraction shooter
they did, but
that had the Bungie style of an FPS shooter. All right, for all of Bungie's faults, they make the best feeling FPS game that exists. There is no game that feels as good to play as Destiny in the FPS genre. It doesn't exist. And if anybody wants to bring up another game, I'm telling you right now, it's fucking Cope. It does not feel as good as Destiny. Destiny knows their shit on this.
The best.
I also don't think the market for Marathon would be either Tarkov or Destiny to specific players. I feel like it would be something completely different.
Yeah,
I do as well, actually. Because you're right. There was a group of Tarkov players that did play it, but when you're talking about and they said they didn't really like it, but that was months ago anyway. There's still years of development on it at that
That's
point.
because they couldn't use their cheats when they were
playing. But if and not all Tarkov streamers cheat. I know quite a few of them that don't. But that all right, calm down.
Greener probably wiggles at people when he's looking at them through ESP when he's playing Tarkov.
I don't play Tarkov. I stopped playing it like 3 years ago. I never got hit by a hacker once when I was playing that game. I just want to point that out. Anyway, so first off, what I was trying to say was, Tarkov, it's a great game, but it does target the realism effect, which is not Bungie's thing. So Bungie, and if the rumors are true about Marathon being a hero extraction shooter, we'll see. So it's going to have its Bungie element, right? The ability element. It's going to feel great as a shooter, at least, even if the game fucking sucks. You know that they're going to nail that aspect. So it's going to be a completely different genre of extraction shooter. Even if everybody thinks extraction shooter, they think Escape from Tarkov. Escape from Tarkov is a good game in its own right. It's got its own thing. It's got the jank that people love. People love jank for some reason. And ever since Arma 2, for some reason, everybody's loved jank. Arma 2 and PUBG and Escape from Tarkov. They eat that shit up like crazy. But we're not. That's not what Marathon's shooting for. It's not shooting for real. Well, as far as I know, it's not shooting for realism. It's shooting for the hero stuff. There's going to be abilities. There's probably going to be shields. There's going to be fucking weird-ass sci-fi guns.
It's also too complicated. Like, Bungie always tries to facilitate gameplay and make it streamlined in a way that anyone can hop on and, like,
you're right.
Play it.
It seems totally unnatural or unlikely that, your clip it's going to be half empty, and you actually have to physically pull it out of your gun and look at it to see how many bullets are in it and that stuff. That's Tarkov, right? That's not the feel that they're going for. I don't imagine. So those aren't the players that they're looking for. And Destiny players are not necessarily like, obviously a lot of Destiny players are going to try Marathon, but they might not be the people that take this game to success. If it gets successful, it might be a whole new group of people rolling in to play Marathon.
And Destiny players might like it too, but I don't think they're making it with specifically Destiny players in mind. I think they're making it.
We'll see.
I'm
not 100% sure. I do think the hero stuff comes from trying to please Destiny players in a way.
Maybe to get them to try it.
Because we have, even though we don't have names of heroes, like Destiny has heroes. Each Hunter, Warlock, and Titan, they're all hero classes, right? So it's the same concept. So we'll see. I haven't seen enough of Marathon to even really like. This is all based on rumors from random fucking people that we don't know. We've seen one trailer that has no gameplay in it whatsoever. So
that is something I saw from both Cross and Paul Tassi, because I'm just mainstream and I watch the easy videos to find. Hey man, is both of them were asking. They're like, hey, since Destiny is kind of, not looking so great, or you're kind of throttling it a little bit, can we start seeing some Marathon stuff since that's coming out in about a year? Because unless it's coming out in Q4 of 2025, like it'll be out within a year.
Just make more, like, create a new frenzy with the Destiny community, because then they haven't announced what they're doing after this. And then you put out Marathon instead of telling us what's coming next in Destiny. It's gonna go fucking batshit crazy.
There needs to be direction for Frontiers. I agree.
Yeah.
Luckily, we had some leaks.
Do we now?
We do have a little bit of information on what potentially be coming. Rec thinks it's 100% accurate, and we are going to talk about it. Hold on. Well, you literally said that in the chat. 100% accuracy rating from the leaker.
This particular leaker has been right every time she shared something.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So we're going to talk about some stuff about the potential Future of Destiny. It's just about the type of content that's coming. It's not any story spoilers. But regardless, if you don't want to hear it, now's the time to shut off the stream or the podcast if you're listening to it. We're going to talk about it for a minute.
Amanda comes back.
It's not.
I'm kidding. I just made that up.
It's not purely leak because some of this is going to be colored with some of the information that Jason Schreier shared today. And even though he doesn't quote his sources, he is a reliable source of this information as well.
He's very reliable. He was one of the best. He's what Paul Tassi
Sus is in your name, Bebo.
I was gonna say Paul Tassi was waiting on his release to push his
Paul
stuff.
Tassi.
So
Paul Tassi is what he wishes he Jason Schreier is what Paul Tassi wishes he could be.
Yeah, that's what I said. AllGamer Tanix comes back. That's the final boss.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, go ahead. What you had that right there in the chat, the stuff about the upcoming content drops.
All right. So the leaks suggest the following: there will be no more annual expansion of the game. The final shape is the last time we're going to get a big annual expansion. All right. Instead, we're going to have two DLCs that are being talked about as content drops rather than expansions or DLCs internal to Bungie. And that's coming from Grubbs. What's his first name? Jason Grubbs over at Giant Bomb. All right. There'll also be 2 seasons every year. Okay. The seasonal content and the DLC will release roughly at the same time. Seasons are going to be free, aside from certain season pass rewards, and they're going to be 6-month-long seasons. All right. There is no seasonal narrative at all. There'll be a mission that introduces you to the season, but then that's it. The only kind of narrative you're going to get is banter you're going to hear when you're doing whatever the seasonal activity is. The seasonal loop is basically going to be grinding seasonal gear, so you can do higher levels of the activity and eventually go into a rally event. And the rally event is something that will happen twice per season. During the rally event, you will be using your seasonal weapons and armor exclusively, trying to earn whatever the final rewards for the season are. And it should cover everything from PvE to PvP. And that's going to be it. That's the whole thing. So the question is ultimately, the seasonal stuff is whatever for me. I've played lots of games that have seasonal updates that are like, here's a new activity or here's some new gear that you can get, but it's narrative light, right? Mm-hmm. The content of the 2 DLCs every year is the real question. And Jason Schreier indicated in his article today that the expectation is that they're going to be roughly equivalent of Into the Light. And so most people will be like, Into the Light was good, right? It was a good activity. It was a good activity. It had some new gear. It had new activity. It had a new vendor. It had new bounties. What did it not have?
Any story content at all? I'd be more happy if they had
story content.
I'd be more happy to see a D1 style DLC, like the first couple where it was House of Wolves, for example. It was a small DLC drop with a very limited story, but there was still story elements to follow, and this doesn't even sound like it's meaning that.
Well, they said the content drops. They only said the seasonal story wouldn't exist. The content drops may have some sort of story baked into it.
That's right.
We don't know
a couple missions with the story is what you're thinking.
I suspect it'll be something more like Curse of Osiris and Warmind.
Here's my question for this group. All right. We know that certain teams took bigger hits than others. All right. One of them being the narrative team at Bungie was one of the ones that took the deepest cuts.
Mm-hmm. Which is fine. They weren't that great anyways.
If these DLCs lack a story, if it is really like Into the Light, which had no story. There was not a single story mission in Into the Light.
Yeah,
not one.
There was. Yeah, there was.
What was the story mission, Bebo? What was the story of Into
protecting
the
last city. That's why you were doing Onslaught.
Yeah, it was a mission that introduced one thing. It wasn't a story. It was
That's
a mission
still
that
a
introduced
story.
one thing. That's
Still
not a story
element.
There's no story there. There's no campaign. If the DLC doesn't have its own campaign, even if it's a mini campaign, a la Curse of Osiris. I don't know how many of you played the 2-hour campaign that was Curse of Osiris. Are you even interested at all? And for me, I will start this off by saying, if it's just activity and there's no more narrative, there's no more, the story of Destiny is not continuing to expand, I'm out. That's it.
It's kind of where I'm at too.
I will hand back my essay role and I will fade into the sunset, because that'll be it for me. I won't be playing Destiny anymore.
You know what's sad about that? The fact that there's so many open storylines that they could dive into. We've yet to fucking see Sivu or Wrath. Like, what the... Like, you know?
There could be stories for all I know, but if there's not, are you still in?
Probably not, no. Because, like,
Destiny
if you have so many things
anyway,
you could
yeah,
do...
I'm in.
Destiny lore does not suck.
Yeah,
says the guy who hasn't watched 10-hour bite video.
Yeah, exactly.
It's great.
Sure, whatever. Anyway, they're not going to drop content every year without some sort of push forward in the narrative, regardless if it says these. That's what makes this stuff the hardest for me to like.
Do you think it's incomplete?
There's something there. Like, they're not going to release seasons with no sort of push forward in the narrative. Like, unless you said these content drops drop with the season, like if they're bundle packaged together, then the content drop has a narrative that you can complete. Then, okay, you get 2 of those a year. The seasonal stuff is just something you can do in between the content drops. But there's got to be something focused or pushing that narrative forward. Like, Bungie's not that stupid.
Really?
There's still 800 people, or how many people working on Marathon? I have no idea, but there's still hundreds of people working on Destiny. They got to do some sort of narrative push forward. They know that. It's just they have to if they want the game to be alive. And they're truly not working on Destiny 3, like we've apparently learned, like today or yesterday.
Was never a thing. Has never been a thing.
Yeah. Then yes. Unless they're really going on, unless they really think Marathon is a banger and they're just going to transition over to it. And there's this whole narrative that we don't even know about, and this amazing game that we're just all sitting on. We're like, oh, it might suck. It's a distraction shooter. But if they like roll in with this fucking just massive thing, then maybe that's their plan, to just like transition over to Marathon as their game of service.
Man, Perez is over there running his mouth in the chat, but he's too scared to come in here and debate about it.
I still need answers from the other 2 members of our quorum here.
Oh, sorry, I'll be quiet.
Yeah, no,
you're one of them, Tex.
Are you gonna? No, he said no. He's out.
Oh, did I hear? I didn't hear Tex say he was.
I'm on the fence because me and Ollie were talking a little bit about it earlier, and I really enjoy Destiny as a game, and I agree with you. They definitely make the best feeling shooters, because I've tried to go play other things and I keep coming back to it. But I think long term, if we don't see any progression, if I don't drop the game, I'm going to have like large breaks with very limited, revisits of content, especially because Perez refuses to take me through the new raids. So
anyway, either way,
maybe you're just bad.
I am bad. I know what I am.
These drops just seem like them starting to take the foot off the gas of Destiny, pivoting a little bit towards Marathon, get that out the door, see how it does, and then from there decide whether they want to start thinking about a Destiny 3. I think that's what's going on.
I think they also need to recognize, well, I'm sure they recognize that Destiny is their only source of income. So I don't think they can afford to do what these leaks or whatever the reporting from Jason Schreier or whoever it was, the guy from Giant Bomb, is suggesting. I think there's more to it than what's written down there, and I think we have to wait and get an. Oh well, I guess we don't have to wait to do anything.
This is for next year, though, right?
But still, even they can't confirm that Marathon's going to be this huge success, so they can't be looking at ramping down Destiny that much, because that's a huge ramp down if exactly what you said is what happens.
But
that is their only source of income. That's crazy.
But that would be a couple months before they would mean to like bring out Marathon, no? Because that would be like the second half.
It's going to be a success.
Well, you're assuming.
Well, they're banking on it.
You guys are assuming that their 800 whatever people are only going to be working on Marathon and Destiny, and that there isn't a there's not going to be a continued integration. Well, that there's not going to be a continued integration of Destiny and its resources into the overall SIE entertainment, Sony Interactive Entertainment ecosphere.
Like they're going to completely take it away from Bungie and give it to Sony. So
that's already happening.
Sony's already said that they're going to develop like a new game studio that's going to take on like a new project that's going to have Bungie people working on it.
That's the 150
I'm talking about the Destiny IP itself.
Who knows what they're going to do with it, but I can totally see a world in which Bungie is being used to also be involved in other live service games that Sony's trying to put out that aren't under Bungie's banner.
I see what you're saying.
Right?
They
I could totally see a
portion
of their staff being used in that regards. Just like even devs, Bungie could be a vicarious visions for another studio that's trying to develop some content, and they might end up being the ones that are developing parts of it, right? One thing Bungie is good at, regardless of how you think the state of Destiny currently is, Bungie is very good at running a live service game. And surely those resources can be used all over SIE, right? AAA developers want as many live service games as they can because these games just fucking print money. And they're low effort and they print money. You don't need to make a ton of content to turn them around. And unlike a standalone single player game or even a standalone multiplayer game that's got a story and then you're done, the potential for the sky being the limit for the income you can make is so much different. Like, is there a bigger chance that your game's gonna fall on its face and make no money? Sure, but there's so much more potential money to be made in even a shitty live service game to an $80, $90 AAA single player game.
I see you, Scarlett. But the one of the big things that Sony listed during their acquisition of Bungie, and then as they've gone on, is even though they've cited the high burn rate, they've also said that they acquired Bungie for their live service experience. They've never listed either of their IPs, or I guess if you count Marathon as an IP.
You think they're just going to grab a bunch of people though and start shoving them all over Sony Studios to help with all these games and service they're trying to launch?
I don't, but it also makes me wonder what they're planning on doing with Bungie. If they're just going to be like, go sit in the corner until you die, or if they're going to keep working on it.
No, because it's live service. It's always making money, just like Rex said. Like if you're buying a game that's single player that's not live service updating, you get that $180 purchase out of them. They play that game for 1-2 months and then it's done. Destiny obviously has been going for 10 years. That's, like he said, printing money in that case. But you don't have to really dive in to see it. Like Sony bought Bungie because Microsoft bought Activision and Blizzard, and this happened in a 2-3 month period, and they had to be in that same reference zone for live service games. Didn't
Microsoft look at Bungie and not like how much money they spent, like the burn rate on them, and then just decide not to acquire them?
I don't know. I never heard sides. Bungie didn't like what Microsoft was doing, and also because this has been coming up recently, is also didn't like the rumors of developers unionizing, which Microsoft was behind and allowing, which would also for certain studios.
Imagine if employees were unionized right now. Holy shit!
This is going to be a hot take, but I fucking hate working with unions.
Unions have good and bad points.
No, like I've been in unions and I've worked in positions where I had to work with members of a union, and being in a union is, I hate it. You can't get overtime because they're like, oh no, you'll burn yourself out or some shit. I don't fucking know. Stupid.
I was gonna say I've heard very mixed reviews from unions because like some of the labor side unions, I'll hear more positive things about depending on where they're at in that structure. But like if I don't really think I've heard positive things after the first couple years of any like service industry, or I haven't heard anything about like gaming industry stuff because they're still starting to just barely do that. But
well, it depends on the union and it depends on the state, right? Because how a union can operate really depends on the region in which the union is operating. It's not the same all across the U.S., for instance.
But see, I didn't know that.
I just working with unions when you're outside of the union, it's impossible to get anything done. It's literally impossible to get anything done. You can't
just
get
like
fucking
stonewalling, or it's like
everything. It's like literally can't move a table out of the way because that's someone else's job. Stuff like that. It's so fucking frustrating.
That's horror stories of particular labor unions for sure.
Yeah, it's the worst. But I worked at a trade center that was a problem. They never had any fucking staff, and you couldn't do anything unless there was people there to fucking do it for you. And everything was always in the way, or not in the right spot, or fucking just totally stupid and mismanaged. And it was the worst experience of my life. I hated every second of it. I did it for 2 years. 2 years that I had to deal with that shit.
It is also fair to say, however, that there are thousands and thousands of people for which a union and collective bargaining have resulted in them having a better wage, better benefits, better overall employment package. So, I mean, there's pros and cons to everything, including unions. For every shit story, there's a good story, right? But it would have certainly changed the landscape here, I think.
I wonder though, like, a union being in place, would that necessarily make any difference if a company needs to downsize?
It depends on the law. It depends on the state that they're in and what the union laws are.
I would understand a compensation package. Yes, absolutely. I think people should be getting that. And if the only way to get that is in a union, absolutely 100%. But also us, well, no, I don't want to say that. That's rude. So yes, I think absolutely compensation. Like those 200 people still would have gotten fired, but they would have probably gotten a better compensation package at the very minimum.
They did get compensated though.
They did say that.
They got 3 months of The only thing they didn't get was whatever shares they still had or hadn't sold at Sony.
Yeah. What about that dev of theirs who was getting ready to go on maternity leave, but because she hadn't had the baby on the date of her she's ready to pop, but because she hadn't had the baby yet, she's getting ready to go on maternity leave like this week, right? But she's getting fucked out of her maternity leave because she hadn't had the baby yet because she got laid off last week. How about that shit?
Why is the baby late? That's the baby's fault.
Oh, all right.
But is maternity leave managed by the government in the States?
No.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. See, that's your problem anyway.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
In Canada, she would have been fine.
In Canada, when you go on maternity leave, the government pays you for a year.
Seattle actually has a program for that.
You guys got to get that in place.
So, some of the more blue states will regulate it, and a lot of the red states are like, that's your problem.
It's crazy how political this stream has gotten.
It's ironic though.
That's why I phrased it that way. I'm like, I'm going to try to limit how I say this.
It's ironic though, because the people in the red states probably have more children. So isn't that weird?
No.
Shut up, Canadian. Don't you're baiting us into
stupid people breed quicker.
Yeah, that was my point.
That's what I'll say. That's how I'll say it.
I know plenty of stupid people that are on both sides.
I know, that's exactly what I was thinking.
And who are right in the middle of the political spectrum, also dumb and fuck too much.
I know a lot of people on the spectrum.
You're on the spectrum.
Does ADHD count as being on the spectrum?
Everybody's on the spectrum.
Allegedly.
It's a spectrum.
Yeah, but it's
gonna be somewhere on it.
What color are you?
Red.
I mean,
You
That's what the US.
I'm
red
a
'cause I'm
smiley
angry.
face. That's what I am.
You can't ask that question if you're in a union. That's the whole thing.
Anyway,
you did this, Greener. You.
So this weather, huh?
Blue. It was Tex. He started.
You brought up politics at the beginning of the stream.
That was way earlier.
Nope, not my fault.
Anyway.
It's been thunderstorming.
So Pete's doing a pretty good job over there.
I think we're fine. Okay. I forgot what we were talking about. Other than Pete Parsons being a total asswipe dick face.
Rex, you got any more leaks?
I've already shared my leaks. Damn. I'm not going to share any other like.
I mean, there is only so much stuff you could really talk about. You know, this sucks. It sucks. 220 people lost their job. 100 people don't get to work with their friends anymore. At least they still have a salary. Pete Parsons buying $2.5 million worth of cars with his Julius money. Okay, that's there is something money. I want to say. I do think that is like that guy sucks. He makes too much money. Absolutely, 100%. But at the same time, everyone's like, "Why you take that $2.5 million and give it to some of the employees?" That would only pay for like 7 employees for a year. Like that's not a lot of money overall. Yeah, you don't know how much these developers make, but you know they can make anywhere between $60,000 to $150,000 a year.
People get mad at the wealthy person because the person is wealthy is dumb. I'm sorry. Listen, he lives in a capitalist society. He has played the capitalism game fine. All right. Well, and now he's making a good amount of money. That's just how it is.
Don't say that anywhere near a U.S. college.
If you're gonna get on his ass, because he's a fucking dipshit who should step down from what he's doing and stop playing the capitalism game because he's a loser.
Okay,
he should feel a little bit of what he's inflicting on people and not drown his sorrow for what he's been inflicting on all of his former employees by buying a new fucking car. Stupid.
It's not like he bought them yesterday when he fired everyone.
What if he did buy them yesterday?
Yeah.
Did he? We don't know that for sure.
There's everyone in the boom. Car purchase. Okay.
If he had bought one yesterday, then yeah, fuck.
What if today he just got in with a new fucking car, just rolled up?
Let me paint you a scene. You're a developer at Bungie. You come in right now. You come in on the day of the L day, layoff day. Okay, you don't know
L day
though.
El día.
And you know, it just so happens that Pete is walking by as you enter the building, and he notices you. He looks a little sweaty, like he's a little nervous. But when he sees you, he gets He comes over and he shakes your hand. He says, he asks you how you're doing today, a little bit of small talk.
Hands a little sticky.
His hands are clammy, right? Because it's clearly humid. It's Seattle, right? Rains a lot.
How tall is he?
Seattle.
Is he a short king? Or?
How tall is he? Like 4'6". Clearly. Tall people wouldn't make these decisions like he has. Anyway, he's got this weird look on his face. He's got this weird smile on his face, and it occurs to you that's like a car salesman look, right? Not that you would know anything about it because you drive this sweet fucking ass classic muscle car, and Pete's always wanted to talk to you about it, right? No, actual classic muscle car. And Pete always likes to talk to you about it because he's a car guy. Anyway, after your small talk, you go about your business, get to your desk, and you have the notification in your email that you've been laid off, right? You need to go see HR. You get a meeting with HR immediately. Pete's in there. They give you your papers. They tell you what's going on. And as you're exiting, Pete's like, "Hey, can you hold on just a minute?" And he says to the HR lady, "Thanks for your time." And then Pete comes in and he says, I realize this is hard. This is hard news that you just had to take, and you are going to get a little bit of salary for the next 3 months, but basically you don't have any income. So I heard you have that pretty. I really like that car of yours. Let me just break out my checkbook and make sure you're solvent for the next few days. But don't tell anybody that I use this layoff to get you to sell me your fucking car, because I'm a fucking loser. Anyway.
I think the actual layout of that entire day was shorter than your explanation of it.
Yeah.
I was gonna say you're just like my wife when telling stories. Wait, did he buy a fired employee's car, or you just make that up?
I'm sure he didn't, but imagine he seems like the kind of guy who would. He'd be like, "Oh, I'm sorry you got laid off, but if you need some money, I like your car.
Let me help you."
I thought that would have been better if right after you got laid off, he came up to you and was like, "Hey, since I know you're a car guy and you want to come see my collection to cheer you up, you can come over to this address."
You want to come see what I got behind closed doors?
I actually have a question. So I know I'm not supposed to reach out while I'm doing this, but I was seeing some stuff scroll by when I got bored of that story, and somebody somebody mentioned that no, you can do whatever you want with your money, but if you brag about it, as he fires his employees, at least that's in bad taste. Oh, it was Prez.
There's that story going around.
That's what I want to know. I didn't know. What is that story? Because I didn't know about that. All I knew, just to be clear really quick, was somebody just dug up these public receipts of these cars that he bought over the last year and said, this guy sucks because he has money. And then everybody jumped on board and was like, oh, Pete, you suck, you suck, you suck, you suck, you suck.
Supposedly, he is well known for inviting people out to his house to look at cars, right? Because he's very proud of his car collection. He is very much a car guy. And apparently, he made that same invitation to some people he knew were being laid off that day in the morning before they got to their desks. The scenario I was just outlining to you, he kind of sort of happened where he was inviting people out. Is it true? Who the fuck knows? It could just be Sour Grapes employees.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, did he really know who was like? Does he know everyone like in that?
No, of course not.
Like,
well, he might. There's not that many of them left.
Maybe he didn't know all the names on the list. So like he was just inviting people out, and then he was like,
job to know that stuff.
And then he was like, "Oh, damn, that's awkward." Anyway,
that's probably what
I was gonna say. Perez is sitting over here going in, and he's talking about housing crisis and it costs everything. I'm like, bro, looking at because I've looked at Boston, and Miami recently, and oof, it's.
Oh man, I'm glad I live where I live. Like,
no, you're not. Don't lie to us.
I am 100% glad. Like, I live here, especially when it comes to home ownership.
Canada, bro.
I love Canada. Calm down. Stop.
Canada's great.
You live in Puerto Rico. Shut up.
What if they took the Timbits away?
What does that mean?
Canada? How would you feel?
That means there's no hurricanes here. What? What about?
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I can't hear Timbits. I don't eat Timbits very often. He turned his camera off because I said there's hurricanes there. Oh no!
A hurricane just
for bringing back memories,
hurricane
bro.
just hit him.
That would be so funny.
You just get a message from Bebo. Fuck you, Greener. You jinxed me.
Oh, you wouldn't get a message. You wouldn't get a message for 6 months. That happened.
Hurricane season's not until the fall. You guys are fine for like
it's already started.
Now. Yeah, but real hurricanes hit like in September.
Yeah.
Flood and wildfire season.
Yeah, we got wildfires up here. So
didn't one of the national parks Jasper burned down?
Jasper, yeah. Pretty bad.
Whatever.
Anyway.
Just don't burn, lol. What the fuck?
Oh my God.
It does make me mad when I think about the people that probably started those fires. And I'm like, you fucking assholes.
It was probably Pete.
People?
He's trying to
get
trying to get his name out of the
He was
media.
smoking a bowl. He was smoking a bowl trying to deal with the layoffs he was about to do, and
imagine he's getting a bonus for taking all the heat. Like Sony's like, listen, you're going to be the scapegoat, so we're going to just give you a little bit of extra. That's what Gamer was saying.
That deal's already happened. That deal happened years ago.
Fucking scumbag, dude.
What the hell are real hurricanes?
And at that point, it's just like, you're going to pay how much? Yeah, I don't care what a bunch of like weebs say about me, because I'm going to be gone 3 years after they hate me anyway.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Got some dork in an
Weebs?
SGC hat
Destiny
and a
players are not
weebs,
weebs.
a
Not all of
backlit
them.
Some fucking
monitor.
guy in a ponytail. Fucking,
Dude,
I don't
if
give a
Pete
shit what
Parson
they
saw
say.
this and he knew it was SGC, I'd shit myself.
Greener's like, okay, I've made it.
I don't. He'd be my new best friend. I don't care what he's done. I'm terrible. Man, I'm glad we're not popular.
You would go see his car collection, wouldn't you?
If this got out on if he invited me right now,
yeah. Listen, Greener. Negative
publicity. You'd fucking live stream it and pour milk all over yourself. That's what you do.
That would be the hardest yes of my life. I'm not gonna lie, but maybe.
Guys, I got the front patty.
Oh man,
that's purely for my dad who's watching this. None of the rest. Do you know what that means?
Nope. Not at all.
I'm not even sure that was English. I'm not gonna lie.
The front patty.
Sorry, I'm reading chat again. Who can't afford a groceries if they make $112,000 a year?
They're arguing about housing prices.
That's insane.
I was gonna say I've lived in Miami. When I was making over 6 figures, and you can definitely afford groceries. And if you can't, you're a dumbass, and you're not living in the right area.
I make
outside of your means.
I make excessively less than $100,000 a year, and I have tons of money for food. So it's all about how you spend it.
Greener, you live in Podunk, Canada. Of course you make enough to take care of food.
Hey, you don't even have to use real money. Like
I assume the government just gave you food up there.
They just gave you food.
Just gave you food, right? Because
the Meeson walk into your
socialism.
yard. It's perfect.
I figured you guys just walked up the trees and stuck a straw in them and just started
sucked out the maple syrup.
Yep. By straw, you mean penis? Then yes.
Heyo.
Yeah, Trudeau just comes up to everyone's house every day, drops off food.
Drops off a bag of food and then takes off.
Yep, just takes off, but people hate him for some reason.
Maple syrup.
Like, don't they just deliver like
free
bags of French fries, cheese, and gravy to your house? Isn't that how that works?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. I still have not had legitimate poutine.
That's fine.
Why else do you pay all those taxes? Damn it! If I paid a lot of taxes, I'd want the government to be delivering me.
How much money do you pay in taxes?
And keto syrup or maple syrup. Keto syrup.
So should we talk about the
47% of their income in taxes, and you still can't find a family doctor?
I mean,
it's true.
I got good insurance, and I have a family doctor, so I can't get anybody to fucking subsidize my $27,000 AC system I just put on my house this last weekend. But that's what I need.
Get fucked.
Yeah, stay fucked. Agreed. Why'd it cost so much anyway?
That's a lot for cold
air. I have
open a window, bro.
I have a central air system outside of my house. And if I had to replace it, like that unit only costs like $5 or $6 grand.
It's $27,000,
and there's a rebate for them too,
and the financing. It won't actually be that much because I needed to get the financing just to get the job going. Because I just didn't have the actual system I purchased. The retail on the system is $17 grand, right? It's not just like a unit, right? It's not just one unit for my house, right? There's a lot going on with the AC for my particular property.
Well, that's what I was wondering. What's the extra stuff like?
I'm not going to try to get into Rex's business, but like, shit gets expensive the more units you buy, and houses in America are not necessarily small. So like the house I'm in right now,
I just have a deck system.
Okay, well it's not I don't know what. 0 degrees Celsius in America like 90% of the time or lower.
My God, it was literally 98 degrees here today. It's not a fucking igloo that you all think it is. We have summertime. It's hot.
Wait, so you don't live in an igloo?
Or? It was 110 in Texas today, so.
Yes, I get that is hotter, but the 98 is still hot. Like that's not a It's not cold. Okay, we need air conditioning. We have
stop
it.
quoting me.
I have a 2,300 square foot house with one unit and a duct system, and it's good enough. So that's all I was saying. They're not mini splits. They're just this big ass fucking unit on the side of the house that do.
Man, how hot is 98 degrees Celsius in freedom units?
Well, it's not 98.
98
I'm saying 98.
It would literally be on. We wouldn't see a camera feed. It would literally just be fire.
Okay. I was converting it for you because I know how you guys don't do math.
Yeah,
It's
it was
like-
36 in Toronto today, and that's 96.8.
It's like
Damn.
It's like 41.
Yes, we have summer.
42
I know it's hard to
Celsius
believe.
here right now.
I'm so proud of you.
108.
Greener.
Well, I don't know
like
about New
41,
Brunswick,
42,
but
right?
Toronto has heat.
Greener
Well,
was-
it was the same temperature pretty much today.
I was gonna say the only time I've
I'll check.
ever been in Canada is when I went through Newfoundland in like September, and it was cold as balls there.
All right, I think we jumped the shark on Destiny.
That's fair
Sorry.
because it's windy as fuck on the island, and that's the main reason why it's cold.
Which is still Pete's fault. That's why we'd all tie
It's
that
still
That
back.
is Pete's fault.
Pete's fault.
Pete, why does Newfoundland weather suck so fucking much, you asshole?
Pete, why did you break my AC in the middle of July and force me to get a new one installed on an emergency basis, which costs more, by the way?
I was gonna say, Rex, it's a miracle that you were able to get AC installed in July.
No. The last time this happened to me at my
It's
old
It's a
house,
fucking math problem. Like I'm
at
gonna do
my
math.
prior house,
Ooh, let's get that trending if it's
I
not
had the
already
same
trending.
thing happen. My AC went out in the middle of July. I was without AC in the middle of July for 21 days
Damn.
when it was over 110 degrees outside. I lived in my master bedroom with a portable AC unit with my wife and 4 dogs and 2 cats for almost a month. It was great.
This sounds
Just
horrible.
Go to Starbucks. Like,
It
10 out of
was
10
terrible.
would recommend.
It was terrible.
So I think on Gamer, just because you put that in the chat, I liked it. I think you know how everybody used to thanks Obama, ironically, and
That's
some
what I was
people
going for.
unironically.
What is this
Yeah,
podcast right now?
we should just start doing the thanks Pete on everything,
for everything.
like
We should.
whether it's ridiculous or not, and get it trending.
I think every time you wipe in a raid, you just have to go, thanks, Pete.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. Thanks Pete. Anything stupid, whatever.
What kind of
Like-
merch can we make that
You got-
won't get us sued by Pete
Hashtag
Parsons?
thanks Pete. Yes. Okay, we got it. We do got to figure that out. You're right. Yeah. Wait for it. Thanks Pete merch coming to the merch store. All profits will go to fired Bungie employees. Let's
Should be the name of the
go.
podcast.
I want
That's a
to clip
cause I
that
can
so
get
that way
behind.
Greener has to do it later.
Should be the title of the podcast. Hashtag thanks, Pete.
Oh,
Ah,
dude, that's
damn.
perfect.
We already have a thumbnail though. What do we do?
Shit, I'm gonna go change it right now.
I was gonna say,
All right.
isn't Pete on the thumbnail?
Yeah, but we
Now
use
he's
the
really going to be.
Well,
on
I
the
always
thumbnail.
use the title, but that's good. Yeah, change
Destiny's getting murdered. Just
Thanks.
put like
Pete.
hashtag thanks Pete up in the top left corner.
No, just make it the main title. Yeah, that's fine.
Nice. We'll get it trending.
Let's do it. All right, everybody. Whatever.
Everyone join random LFGs and wipe and just go thanks, Pete, and spread it.
Yes, spread it, spread it, and everyone will know it started here first. Thanks, Gamer. You've started a trend.
I'm
Good
happy
job.
about it.
We'll hold you legally bound to this promise screen. I'll do it. Whatever. Fuck. I don't care. I don't make that much money off of them. So I'll call one of them up and I'll be like, hey, you got a PayPal I can transfer you $47 to?
So if we go to the forums and just go hashtag thanks, Pete, like would that be ninja as well? Or
Oh, yes, absolutely. But we should blast the forums with that.
Just like
Starting
videos
with
of
the
wipes or someone
starting with
cheating in
the Shrouded
PvP
recruitment post,
or
right?
anything.
Just the post. So the whole forum page says thanks, hashtag thanks, Pete. That's it. You don't even need to put anything in the post except for like a period so you can actually post it. That would be so fucking funny. But we may get ninja'd and banned. So that wouldn't be good.
that's
Just
something I
take the
could catch
Phosphorus
on.
route and make some burner accounts on the Destiny website.
Will I lose my? Will I lose all my Destiny progress?
No. You'd only be banned from the forum.
Oh, then I don't care. It's not like I go upvote anyway. JK, I do it right after you post it. Don't ban me.
Fucking better. Anyway, we've been on here for, well, not as long as I thought, actually. But I think we've talked about most of what we can talk about this Bungie layoff, Pete being a dipshit, all sucking, corporate greed, blah, 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 Sony, SEI or SEO, whatever the fuck they are, who cares? New things, what's coming to Destiny. So I don't have a lot to say about Game Informer, but I'm going to bring it up again because we didn't really talk about it. It sucks. Game Informer in business for 30 plus years, completely shut its doors today. Just everybody. Like, everyone's gone. It's gone forever. Bye-bye, Game Informer. Now, if you were a gamer in the 90s, you would probably know Game Informer quite well because it was one of the only ways you can get gaming information out to the world. And it actually was, obviously there was more magazines, but printed material is what I'm talking about. And Game Informer was one of the big ones. So it probably had a huge, profound impact on the industry in the late 90s. Right around when the internet was slowly merging into people's homes, but your main source of marketing for video games was previews and reviews in gaming magazines where you could write in your letters and they would respond to 1% of them and write it all in their magazine. And the demo discs that probably came with the magazines back in the day, the PlayStation demo discs, the good old days. Unfortunately, I almost said Game Scoop, which is another gaming podcast, but GameStop, which owned them, shut them down today. Well, we got word today, at least. Anyway, gaming in the 90s was great.
Rest in peace, and thank you for your contribution.
Comment because I was curious, but it sounds like it hit like this morning. They laid everyone off, and if you go to the webpage, it's just like some weird landing page. Like you can't go and browse anything anymore.
Oh, really?
Oh, I heard. I heard they took it down completely. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Farewell from Game Informer. That's it. Final level.
R.I.P. Hashtag thanks, Pete.
I was gonna say. Because Game Informer
perfect. That's what we
one
need
of the
to
things
do.
that got
Coincidence?
me into gaming.
I think.
Yeah,
not.
was it?
I mean, I used to get them all the time.
I used to love that stuff. I did a lot of. Is it AGM? Was it AGM?
I'm not sure.
I think that's one of the other ones.
And
then
Power was the other.
And then EB, which turned into GameStop, used to have one that I used
EB
to
Games.
Yeah, EB Games.
Damn, just throw back a memory I didn't know I had.
I was gonna say I remember playing the first game I remember playing was Crash Bandicoot 2: Rise of Cortex on like a PS2.
In the store,
the corner of my parents' bedroom.
Go retweet me, please.
Okay, hold on. What was the GMR was launched February 2020 or 2003, being sold only in electronics boutique chain of video game stores. So yeah, GMR. I used to read that one a lot. There was one called AGM, right? I'm pretty sure AGM magazine. Hold on, let me check.
I think you mean EDM.
You know what's what's gonna bring it back? Greener, you'll probably remember this show, Video and Arcade. Top 10.
No.
Oh, it was a great show. It was like early esports, like the beginning. They had like 4 people playing on TVs, and you got to watch all of them play against each other. Great show.
You can do that now on YouTube.
Crazy.
What?
What? Anyway, Nintendo Power was a big one for a long time too, but I think Game Informer and Nintendo Power are probably one of the biggest. I did do the EB one for a while, and there's another one. I don't know. Maybe it's EGM or something. It wasn't AGM. When I typed AGM magazine, a bunch of bullet magazines, like magazine bullet holders, came up. So, don't know. Whoops. Rip. Let's see what this is. EGM homepage. Yeah, okay, maybe. Yeah, Electronics Gaming Monthly. Fuck, I'm an idiot. It was EGM. Yeah, okay, that was it.
AGM's a New Zealand airsoft manufacturer, I guess.
Which he's also talking about.
Yeah, that's why you got a ton of magazines.
Anyway, Electronics Gaming Monthly was a big one too for a long time. Final issue was in 2014, but it was around since 1989. So I read that one a lot too. But either way, big suck. All right. I don't know. Anyone else got anything else to say?
Nope.
All right. Does anybody want to plug anything? You got a Twitch channel, YouTube, favorite TV show you want everyone to watch? I don't fucking care. Anything?
Shrouded Void is the best Shrouded clan.
They don't exist. What are you talking about?
I still got the shirt. It
Hashtag
at one point.
7 wins clan wars. Dab.
I'll give you. I'll
Shit,
send
yeah,
you.
almost
I'll send you a cookie if you win Clan Wars.
I hope it's salty.
You like salty cookies?
He wants you to give it a personal touch.
Someone want to draw that one out for him? Or?
No. That's content for your OnlyFans, AGreener.
Oh, no. I eat a lot of pineapple, so mine's sweet.
I like it, Perez. Void was so good that you guys had to retire us. I'll take it.
Yep, that's what happened.
Greener's like, nope, this guy's getting banned. Thanks, Pete.
Thanks, Pete.
He's probably thinking, oh, it's so cool to have normal people in here. Why the fuck do I have this sussBebo guy in here?
Yeah, get rid of him. All right. Oh, yeah, I have to retweet something. All right, hold on. Let's see what this is, and then we'll close out the show.
Rect, are you still angry? Are you going to keep that face?
I'm going to be angry until the first of these DLCs come out, and then I will either continue to be angry and be free, or I'll be happy and still be a slave to Destiny 2.
Wait, you guys don't want to go over the TWID?
Yeah, the TWID that there wasn't one of, because there was a thing about we're firing a bunch of people. Thanks, Pete.
Some guy says, "Oh, hey, Pete Parsons' LinkedIn still visible." Purple Cougar says Pete Parsons' LinkedIn still visible.
I thought he turned it back
does
on.
Does it say? Does it say his height? Can you see his height?
He's 6'7".
In stilettos.
I'm just kidding. I don't know how fucking tall he is, and I don't care. Yeah, like he only privated it for like a hot minute, and then and somebody said it, and it went viral, so he undid it. So it was all good. And he goes cowards or something, and then it was unblocked like almost immediately after. It was only hidden for a very short period of time. And someone at Sony called him. It was like, unhide your shit. Take the brunt. We're paying you a bonus for this, you fucking losers.
Stop hiding, you fucking pansy.
Yeah.
All right. Clan Wars is going on. So,
all right.
Go be active. Visit the stream. Upvote. Wait, never mind. I don't want to say upvote anything because Bungie will be like, fuck you.
Thanks,
if you feel like going... if you feel like helping recruitment, you can go upvote the recruitment thread, but for the love of God, don't comment on it or they absolutely will ninja it.
I'm gonna go right. I was paid to comment here,
and make sure you are like playing the game.
Is this where I need to post a comment?
Either in your clan or in other SGC clans. Earn some points and maybe stop Bastion from winning a second one in a row because they're already on track,
guys.
What's Bastion?
The clan that's currently beating your ass.
Ship.
The clan that's going to beat 7.
Clan Wars.
I refuse to participate in Clan Wars as a principal, but I will still promote other things.
Bitch.
Just another
for Clan
one of the staff bodies I leave in my Clan Wars wake.
For Clan Wars, can we give more points to activities you complete with your own clan members?
No.
As opposed to...
Why would we do that?
What's the point then?
It's too hard to control.
The point is to get people to play more with the community.
I could care less if you play with your clan.
You actually make more points by playing with other clans.
Yeah,
I understand that, and it makes no sense to me, but okay.
That's just how we wrote the bot. So that's how you have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that much significantly more. Get a group of 6 together and play like for 4 hours, and you're gonna have the most CO or C community points ever. Like, who the fuck cares?
Are there 6-player
unless
activities?
you're playing the raid, and then you
in Crucible and raids. Fuck. There's a 12-man activity too. Why don't you just go do that over and over again?
Because I want to see my gun. I want to see what I'm shooting with.
Maybe you should have a better computer. I've never lost sight of my gun in Excision, loser.
I call bullshit.
Once.
I call bullshit on that.
Twice.
Stream it right now. You won't.
Who cares? Fuck. Thanks, Pete. Jesus.
I was going to say, how many times have I started Excision or how many times have I completed Excision? Those are 2 very different numbers.
Always to completion is what,
I started it 3 times and finished it twice.
I'm going to make the week 2 challenge for Clan Wars. It's going to be people making Thanks Pete memes. It's going to be submit Thanks Pete memes. That's what it's going to be.
Beautiful.
Should do like a contest and we'll vote on it.
No, we'll just
top 3.
We'll tweet. We'll tweet.
Yeah, just retweet every one of them and make it viral.
Does anybody else have anything to plug?
I'm just gonna plug the community once everyone's done.
Yep, I'm done.
All right, cool.
sussBebo has a Twitter channel. Go.
I don't.
Go check out his.
I was just gonna say Clan Night if you
and
guys want to pass by. 7's Clan Night is tonight.
Shrouded 7 has Clan Nights on Fridays, which is right now. So if you want to go check it out, if you don't have access, just message Bebo a picture of your wiener, and he will give you access.
Feet pics.
Bebo,
both. Make sure that when you're looking down at your feet, that the wiener is out far enough to come out.
Yeah. Act like that's what you did.
That reminds me of something I'm going to talk about in the post show.
How does that remind you of something?
We're going to talk about Dr. Disrespect.
Nice cock. Anyway, sorry.
Finish your plugs. Let's get out of here.
I forgot what I was talking about. Okay. Thanks for coming and watching episode 73 of This Week at Shrouded. I appreciate every one of you. I was your host, AGreener. This is Mr. Wrecked, Tex, Bebo, and AllGamer. Thanks for being here. You guys are all amazing. If you watched all the way to the end of this podcast, which I know you didn't, but if you're still here for some reason and you're not in the SGC, just
get help.
Get help. No, come join us. ShroudedGaming.com/Discord. Check us out there. That's our Discord. That's where all our clans hang out and talk and LFG and have fun, do our events, give away silver, games, awesomeness, and just amazing stuff. So swing by, say hello. I was going to say something. I totally forgot what it was. Oh, no, it's gone. Oh, yes. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe and like the video. Why can't I say that seriously? I've done 73 episodes of this, and I still don't feel like a YouTuber. I can't. I don't know. I can't do it. Anyway, come join us in the Discord. You've all been beautiful. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Thanks, Pete, you bitch.